This is Undaunted.Life, a man's podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Thompson. Let's get into it. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens and over the livestock and over all the earth and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. That is Genesis 1:26. All right, guys. So don't normally release on Wednesdays, but this is a special bonus episode for you guys today. And I've got to tell you, I've been waiting on and I feel like preparing for this date for a very, very long time, but we need to back up just a little bit. So the very first thing that I ever did under the Undaunted Life name, under the Undaunted Life banner, was that I wrote a devotional for the YouVersion Bible app, and that was back in 2016. And so that's the year we started Undaunted Life, and that was the first thing I ever produced. A lot of you kind of probably already heard this story, like Undaunted Life was supposed to be like an excursion-based ministry, but then I was like, well, all the men's devotionals, all the quote-unquote men's devotionals on the YouVersion app kind of suck. They challenged me to go and write one, and I never thought that I'd write a devotional, but I did, and then I never thought that they would accept the devotional and put it on their app, but they did. And then I thought no one would ever read it, but within a few months of it being posted on the app, it was the second most read men's devotional on the entire app, only behind Craig Rochelle's. And he's the lead pastor of the church that invented the app, so he gets, primary placement, marketing, all that kind of stuff. And so that gave me a hint that the way that I talk about Christianity as it pertains to men and manhood and masculinity, that was not only accepted by the marketplace of ideas, but that it was popular and that it was unique enough, and it was a unique enough way of delivering the material that the ideas were landing with you guys in kind of a unique way. Then we go to 2017. YouVersion wanted me to write a follow-up, another devotional, but I really didn't want to write again. Like, I'm good at writing, but I just don't enjoy the process very much. It's kind of laborious for me in my brain. I like to put bullet points down on a sheet of paper and then just talk my way through them. So that is better done in the context of a podcast. So in 2017, I launched the show that you guys are listening to right now, Undaunted.Life, a man's podcast. Now, I started out recording the show, guys, with a $50 microphone that I bought off Amazon, and I was recording in a coat closet in my house, right? And I never really thought that many people would listen to or even find the show, but I dedicated myself to work as unto the Lord from day one, regardless of if the show ever took off or really got off the ground at all. So every week, year after year, I released episodes, lots of solo episodes to start out, and then I started doing interviews with episode 100, and we've since done hundreds more interviews and a whole bunch more of solo episodes and things like that. But even with the show going and growing and all those types of things, I felt like something was missing for me and for my audience, and that was a manly Bible study, right? So that led us to launch the Forging Table at the beginning of 2023, and the idea essentially was, I wonder what it would look like if we just got four regular dudes, like not professional Christians, not pastors, not people with theology degrees, just four regular dudes around a table and started working our way through the Bible, one book at a time, one chapter at a time, 1 hour at a time. And we've since done that, and we will, as I've said before, we will continue to do that. Even if I stop doing interviews and solo episodes, the Forging Table will just continue. It'll never cease to exist. And by the end of 2023, something amazing happened for us here. Our show became the number 2 show in the religion and spirituality category, and it was also in the top 150 of all podcasts in all categories. So at the time, the numbers are somewhere between 5.5 and 6 million shows, and we were in the top 150 and number 2 in our category. And what's kind of weird about that, it took me months to really put 2 and 2 together, but at that moment, we became the number 1 podcast show in the world specifically made for Christian men. There are Christian men that obviously consume other podcasts, but a show that is explicitly created and targeted at Christian men, which is 95% of our audience, we are the number 1 show in the world. And so those have been, up to this point, the most important, really cornerstone moments in the history of Undaunted Life. So 2016, Undaunted Life launches, and we write our first devotional. 2017, we launched Undaunted.Life, a man's podcast. And then 2023, a banner year, we started the Forging Table and then became the number 1 podcast for Christian men. But even with all that, something has just been missing. Something's just been a little bit off. And I've had kind of this nagging feeling that's just kind of come up, here and there over the years. So guys, since we launched Undaunted Life in 2016, and I mean this literally, okay? We've literally had thousands of interactions. Me personally, I've had thousands of interactions with men all over the globe. And this could be in person. This could be in my DMs, guys that, send us an email, whatever. And I would get the same comments the same concerns. And these just kept coming up over and over and over again. And so they were, just kind of along the lines of, I know I need more of God's guidance in my life, but I have no idea where to start. Or I used to be able to focus and get things done, but I've lost my mojo. I know I'm not working out like I should be, but I'm really busy. And then you got guys that are just like, I don't have any guys that I can really count on. And I guess that's just the way it's got to be and the way it is. There are guys that are like, I just feel like I'm constantly letting my wife and kids down and I don't know how to fix it. Guys that are like, I can't find a man-friendly church in my area, so I just stay home unless you can tell me where one is in my town. You got guys that are like, I'm so sick and tired of the darkness and depravity that's all around me, but I don't know the best way to fight back against it. And then, Kyle, I've read your devotionals. I've listened to all your podcast episodes. I've listened to every interview that you've ever done on another show, but I want more. Those comments just kept coming. Kyle, what else do you got? What's the next thing? And it seemed like the requests were not like, hey, can we get a 4th episode per week? Or can you launch another devotional? It seemed like guys wanted something more. Well, today is the day where we start delivering on more. And we start delivering that more. Guys, I'm getting in the trenches with you. So I feel like we need a drum roll somewhere, but allow me publicly, guys, for the very first time to introduce all of you to our new program called Dominion. Dominion. So you're a guy, you're struggling in one or several of the ways that I described earlier. You're struggling with spiritual, mental, and physical resilience. You have no one in your foxhole. You know you're missing the mark, but for whatever reason, you can't fix it or you're just not fixing it for some reason. So I created the Dominion program, which provides a plan to address those issues, helps you create community, and then actually calls you to action. And here's the deal, guys. If you choose our path and really seize the process that we're laying out with the Dominion program, your overall godly manliness will go up considerably, and you will take dominion over the world around you, hence the name of the program. And guys, you know the drill. If you don't do something like this, if you don't kick yourself into gear, you likely will stay stuck in neutral and you'll stay in this, perpetual state of malaise, which will certainly lead to regret and bitterness later. And we don't want that for you. So the reason we're launching Dominion publicly is because I actually launched this program privately earlier this year because I just couldn't get the idea out of my head. And it just kept coming up and I kept getting comments and stuff from you guys. And I'm like, okay, I just need to launch this, but I don't want to launch it to my entire audience because, what if it doesn't work? Or what if we don't really get it figured out? What if I suck at it? Whatever the thing was. But I wanted to test to see if the concept would work. If we could create a community of like-minded dudes that were actually serious about leveling up. Not just talking about it, but actually serious about it. So about forging spiritual, mental, and physical resilience, about pushing back darkness. So I currently have 11 men from all across the United States. I mean, we're literally talking from Alaska to Florida that are going through the Dominion program right now. These guys are Team 1. You guys know who you are. And I actually want you to hear from a few of these guys because I was asking them, what do you think about this program? As we launch and get into, future teams, what would you want people to hear? And so I'll let you hear from Brad, who's a 40-year-old substation tech. I was tired of sitting on the sidelines. So when I got the opportunity to level my game up as a man, I jumped. Dominion has helped me in all areas of Christian manhood and pushing back darkness. If you feel stuck, this is the program you need. Let's hear from Bryce, who's a 34-year-old contractor. I've been able to hone the traits needed to be a solid husband and father while being encouraged and pushed by like-minded men who are seeking to push back darkness in their respective spheres of influence. I highly recommend this program. And then I'll let you hear from James. He's a 53-year-old retired Air Force colonel. Dominion connected me with other men nationwide who wanted to push back darkness. And these connections have emboldened me and driven me because I know that I am in good company in my Christian walk. And guys, we got quotes from all these other guys, but I just thought that kind of gave you a good cross-section of the types of guys that we've got in this first group. And as far as this first group goes, it's gone incredibly well, like insanely well with this private group of guys. And we've had such positive results. And, I talked to the guys, like, what do you think? How could this go from there? Because I told these Team 1 guys, like, y'all are going to help me figure out if this is even a thing that we should release, to a wider audience. And so we have decided, and I've ultimately decided that we are going to open this up to the world. So starting in January of 2025, guys, right around the corner here in just a few weeks, we will be launching Team 2 of Dominion. So pay close attention. If this sounds interesting to you, you're probably still listening to this right now. Here are the details that I need to take you through. Here are the details that you need if you want into this. Okay, so today, if you're listening to this on time, as of this morning, this is Wednesday, December the 4th, 2024. Applications for Team 2 have opened on our website. So the link will be in the show notes, so you guys can just check that out in the show notes wherever you're listening to this. But the link, or you can just go to the link, Undaunted.Life / or whatever, / / just / Undaunted.Life / Dominion, Undaunted.Life / Dominion. So this is not a very long application, but it does help me get an idea of kind of where you are at currently in your life, who you are, and why this program would potentially be a fit for you. So if we like your application, you will get an interview for the program. And I will tell you as well, the applications are going to be reviewed and interviews will be set on a first come, first serve basis. Okay. So I'm literally going to go to the very top of the list, the first person that submitted an application, and that's where I'm starting my review. I'm not batching it and, moving it around random or, sorting it in alphabetical order. I'm going to the first person that put an application in and going down from there. So guys, if you want to be in on this program, do not wait to put your application in, okay? Because I'm only taking a very, very small number of guys for Team 2. In the future, we will continue to communicate with you guys about larger groups that are being taken at one time, but I'm taking one team. So it's a very, very small number of people, okay? The deadline, okay, so it's open now. The deadline for applications is Tuesday, December the 10th. So that's next Tuesday, guys, if you're listening to this on time. Tuesday, December the 10th at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, the applications will close. You will not be able to submit an application. You'll just have to go into our wait list when the deadline comes for Tuesday, December the 10th at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. But don't wait until that time. I can almost guarantee you that we're going to be finding, the guys for Team 2 well before then. So some of you at this point might be asking, why do we need to fill out an application for this program? Why do we need to be ready? Because as part of the application, it says that you need to be willing and ready to invest time, effort, and capital into this, a significant amount of those three things. So why do we need to fill out an application? Why do we need to be ready and willing to give a significant investment of time, effort, and capital? So that's the main question, because for a lot of guys, it's just like, oh, well, just send me to the website and I'll buy the book and then I'll just work through it and blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, shouldn't this thing be free if you really wanted to get all the people in the world to do it? But here's the deal. I'm looking for killers, okay? I'm looking for dogs. Like, I'm looking for dudes that are for real. I'm not looking for guys that are going to be like, yeah, it sounds like a pretty good thing. I might get around to it. I mean, we'll see. Me. Like, those aren't the guys that I'm looking for. And I'm not looking to launch just some free program, because you guys know what you do with free. You treat free like it's free, right? You treat it like a rental car. But when you pay for something that requires something of you, almost emotionally, but really you're giving your time and your effort to a program, you know how much different it's going to be for you. Guys, this is a very exclusive program and unapologetically it's very, very exclusive. So I'm looking for a small number of dudes for Team 2 that are willing to work their way to becoming elite. So if you can't fill out a short application and, dedicate yourself to invest the time and the effort and the capital, then no big deal. Like, Dominion just isn't the program for you. But when I find these dudes, as soon as we get together, we're sprinting. Like, we are going to absolutely sprint. But for those of you that do get into Team 2, and I'm so psyched to meet you guys and to get this team formulated, okay? Especially since we're having such good luck with Team 1. For those of you that do get into Team 2 or onto one of our future teams, I can guarantee you this. You will get results. You will become the godly man, husband, father that you've always dreamed of being, and you will take dominion. I promise you that. So guys, if you want more information, go to Undaunted.Life / Dominion. Again, that is in the show notes, Undaunted.Life / Dominion. You can also just get there through our website. So if you can get to our website, go there. You can find it. You can go ahead and apply. I'm telling you guys, do not wait. This program will fill up. I'm getting in the trenches with you. It's time to get after it. That's the only thing where I'm going to do a quick resilience boost today. Just go there, go to the application, submit one today. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Wherever you're listening to this, please subscribe, rate, and leave us a positive 5-star review. If you want me to come speak live at your event or on your podcast, just shoot me an email to info@Undaunted.Life. That's info@Undaunted.Life. Follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook, and check out our website for everything else, including how to donate to keep more content like this coming your way. Just go to www.Undaunted.Life. And as always, we want to thank the band Holy Name for allowing us to use their music for our content. The music on this podcast is their song Perpetua, which is off their self-titled debut album on Face Down Records. The links are in the description. I'm your host, Kyle Thompson. Remember, keep pushing back darkness, keep forging spiritual, mental, and physical resilience, keep seeking the Lion of Judah.